Hey kayak anglers, this is Juan from the Wilderness Systems Fishing Team. I'm here today to talk to you about a great subject in kayak fishing, dry bags. Yeah, dry bags. Yeah. I've been around kayak fishing for 20 years or just about 20 years now, probably more than that maybe. I've educated kayak anglers through books I've contributed to on the subject, through video projects or educational for kayak anglers that I've contributed to, through magazine articles I've written, and through classes that I designed and taught on the river here in Pennsylvania to other kayak anglers so they learn how to position their boat better, how to paddle better, how to target smallmouth bass and different strategies for that. So I've got a lot of time on the water. And one of the things that I find kayak anglers overlook is the usefulness of dry bags. You can see here in front of me, I have some of the Wilderness Systems dry bags here. I start at 5 liters, I got 10 liter, and I've got 20 liter. These bags and various sizes of bags are really more efficient for storing things in your kayak than say boxes or even, just other ways that I've seen kayak anglers stuff things in their kayak. The reason being is this. You could take, for example, one big dry bag, put all this stuff in it, but you may have problems finding space for it in your hatch. When you take your gear and you break it down into smaller pieces like this, you actually will be able to know what's in each bag. And actually, when you go to put this in your hull, you can find little spaces. For example, the hull comes up to the point in the bow. I can take this small bag, shove it in the bow of the kayak, take this bag in and put it in next to it, and then put this bag in. Whereas if I had this one big bag, I wouldn't be using all that space efficiently. So I use space more efficiently when I break my gear down into multiple dry bags, and that's why I have like 3 different sizes here. I use these dry bags almost every time I hit the water. So using your space efficiently in your kayak. The other thing really is obviously keeping your gear dry and safe, but also breaking the gear down. So just quickly, here's how I broke my gear down into my dry bags, and this is what I've been doing all year. This smaller, tools, repair stuff, first aid kit in this first bag, smallest bag, 5 liter. Second bag up, 10 liter. This is my camera gear. There's also in the little attachments for my camera. And also, I can put my lunch in here too. So that's a 10 liter bag. Probably my go-to everything kind of bag, given the situation. And then the biggest bag that I use is 20 liter. This is used a lot in the wintertime when I have some extra clothing in case I go into the water. I want to have some underlayers that are dry and so forth. Maybe some extra safety gear in here. Goes in this bigger bag for in the wintertime. And so I use my bags that way to kind of divvy out my gear, make it so I understand what's in each one of these bags, and so I know when I need something, I know which bag to go to. Now these Wilderness Systems bags actually have a lot of other features to them that I really like and are really useful to me. Number one, the bigger bags starting at 20 liter, and they go up 2 more sizes, at 20 liter have a carry bag or a carry handle. That's great because you got a bigger bag. It's a pain in the butt maybe to carry it in one hand. You can just sling it over your shoulder, carry it down to the water. It clips into D-rings here or here, and then there's a D-ring up here in the roll top of this bag. So I like that about it. The other thing in this clothing bag, you can see something here that's a struggle for dry bags. Trying to close up the bag and try to get out some of the air so you're not using as much room. So I've got my clothes in here, so they're pretty compressible. How would I do that? Well, a lot of times you can burp the top a little bit, but you never quite get it. When you have to roll it shut, you always get some trapped air in there, so you're using up space for just air, right? So with this bag, it's got like this little button here that you can press, and you hear that air coming out. I pressed it once, and it opened up the valve, and so I'm squishing out all the air, so making the bag smaller and more compact to be able to stuff into my kayak more efficiently. So that's on each and every one of these bags. And now once I'm done, it actually just reseals itself, and I'm good to go. It's waterproof. So that's awesome. Every one of these bags has that feature, and that's one of the things I like about it because I can reduce my bags down to a smaller size so I have room for them. The other thing is the D-rings that I mentioned earlier. I love the D-rings here and here, 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 right? We got D-rings everywhere on this. The reason I like these D-rings is that sometimes you want your dry bags on the deck of your boat, maybe in the back with your gear in the tank well. And it's always nice to have more attachment points on your dry bags. So I can basically clip a carabiner, say to a bungee or something like that, and then just clip this bag in so that it doesn't fall out. And honestly, I would probably just put my first aid and repair stuff in the hull someplace, but my camera and my lunch, I'm gonna have it out there. I want it out with me. And so if I go overboard, if I flip my kayak and I don't have this thing secured, it's just gonna float down the river and hopefully I'll retrieve it, maybe not, right? So this dry bag's got so many attachment points, and I do this all the time. I'll basically just have a little carabiner someplace in my tank well, throw this in there, clip the carabiner in, no worries. If I flip over, everything's still attached to the kayak and I can retrieve my lunch and my, very expensive DSLR camera. That's very important to me. So, and I trust this dry bag to my DSLR, and I've had this DSLR for probably 8 years. It's been in the dry bag for probably, these are 4 years old maybe. That's the other thing. These dry bags are really durable. I believe, my dry bags I got them the first year that Wilderness Systems came out with dry bags, and I guess that's probably at least 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, at least. And these things are still in great shape. There's no punctures in them. There's nothing that's wrong with them whatsoever. They're just as good as the day I got them. And so they're really durable. And I do a lot of kayak fishing, and these things are on the water a lot. So they're really durable. The other thing I like about them is that you don't really have to guess what size bag you've got there. So we got this little strip here. It says Wilderness Systems, and at the bottom it says 5L, 5 liter. Same thing here, Wilderness Systems 10 liter, Wilderness Systems 20 liter. And then it goes up 2 more sizes. They got a 35 liter and a 50 liter yet too, if you want to get even bigger and better, right? Depending on what you want to carry. So these are awesome. When I'm doing overnights on the river, these dry bags are indispensable as well. So I always find uses for these 3 dry bags in particular virtually every single time I go on the water, as you can tell by what I've got stored in them. So that's the Wilderness Systems dry bag line. That's why I like them so much and why I use them basically every time I hit the water. So if you're an angler who uses boxes and has a lot of wasted airspace in your hull, you use other means of storing your gear or just leaving your gear out. Some people do that. Not a good idea. Consider taking a look at these Wilderness Systems dry bags because they've been awesome for me. They've worked great. They've never let me down, and I really believe in them. So until next time, kayak anglers, get out there and do some fishing, catch some fish.